the special effects. Now, having said that, I have my reverb on because I just can't quite tolerate a completely dry steel. But in practicing this, you're trying to make it sound pretty with your hands, not with the effects devices and not with the amplifier. You're trying to mimic the singer, mimic the human voice, and make your steel sing. So, having said all that, what is the focus practice? Well, first off, you've probably heard about Paul Franklin's bar control exercise. I do this exercise every day, and I use a metronome, which I'm going to use here, and then I use a drone tape. And my drone CD I got from Bob Hoffner in the forum. And the drone CD is really nice because it's about 6 minutes on each pitch. It starts off on an E, then it goes to G, then it goes to A, then it goes to C, and then to D, and to B flat, and then to B. And each segment's about 6 minutes long, so it's a combination of giving me a pitch to force me to pay attention to intonation, and it's also my egg timer, so that as I'm playing, you know, I'm starting to get bored with this, but I'm going to do this particular drill for 6 minutes, and then I can take a break, and then I'll go to the next pitch. So it's a really helpful thing. The bar control exercise is palm blocker, as you see, and then and you work your way up and down the neck. So you're first doing every 2 frets, then it's every 3 frets, then it's every 4 frets, and every 5 frets. And as Paul Franklin says, for this exercise, don't use vibrato, because I think part of learning to use vibrato is learning to play without vibrato. If you always play with vibrato, then when you do then your vibrato becomes almost meaningless. It ceases to impress people. If you can play certain phrases without vibrato and then bring in the vibrato is more dramatic. So I do 6 minutes every day of the Paul Franklin bar control exercises with no vibrato. Then the next thing I would suggest is do some simple scales. And I'm going to demonstrate this. And I'm in the key of G, and I've got my metronome set on 92. But you can vary the speed to whatever you want. So there's my pitch to keep me honest in G. And I'm just going to play scales. I'm going to start with 2 string scales. There you heard I was trying to hit every pitch right on the every note right on pitch, and then bringing in the vibrato. You can do this. I did that with A and B pedals on strings 3 and 5. Let's do the same basic thing using strings 3 and 4 and the B and C pedals. Okay. It's as important to pay attention to intonation as it is to your vibrato. Good vibrato with poor intonation is worthless. It's better to have the intonation. Intonation is more important than vibrato, in my opinion. So you've got to get the intonation. The other thing about intonation, let me stop these for a second. Sometimes you have to compensate. If you have a steel like mine, a 20-some-year-old steel, detunes a lot, there's a lot of cabinet drop, I tune just intonation. As a result, when I go to the A and B pedals, A and B floor pedals, I know that that's slightly below pitch. When I go to the A and F floor pedals, I know it's a lot below pitch. So I have to compensate, and I have to, whenever I hit those pedals, I'm thinking about intonation. I'm particularly when I'm playing that high third string. For some reason, you have to really listen. Did I hit the pitch? And then hear the A and F pedal. When I go to the A and F pedal, I very consciously go north of the fret, if I can call it that. So pay attention to intonation a lot, because, as I say, good vibrato with bad intonation is worthless. Now, after you've done some scales, do some things at various tempos, then you want to go to what I would call the third step of what I think is focused practice, and that's improvising simple melodies or musical lines at various speeds, slow speed and medium speeds. Changing the pitch here. I'll go to a different pitch on my drone, and sometimes I'm going to play a single string, sometimes I'm going to play 2-string chords, sometimes I'm going to play 3-note chords. The emphasis is going to be on strings 4, 5, and 6 of the neck, but I'm going to reach up for chromatics here and there, and I'm basically going to just try to play slow fills that are musical sounding, not hot licks at all. Try to stay, and I want to hear the steel sounding sweet. I want to hear a real pleasing steel tone on everything, and everything as in tune as I can make it. So, having said all that, okay, let's see what. Okay, yeah, we're in A now. And let's give a tempo here. Tempo is 112. Okay. In there at one point I went up high and I tried to purposely use bar shiver. Bar shiver to me is something that sounds great if you just use it once in a while. If you use it all the time, you totally destroy the value of it. The B and C pedal work pretty well on bar shiver stuff up high. You just have to learn to mix up your different vibratos. One phrase will call for bar shiver, the next phrase will call for a slow roll. And the more you can vary these things, the more interest you can create. I think that's what good singers do, and I think that's what we should be mimicking. We want the steel to be singing. So learn to play without sliding into notes so much. Learn to hit the notes accurately and then bring the vibrato in. Make the vibrato slower. In most situations, slow the vibrato down, and don't make the vibrato too wide. Keep it fairly narrow, except when you want to use a bar shiver or something like that. Rolling versus sliding, that I think comes natural. The more you practice, the better this gets. You should be doing probably at least a half an hour to an hour a day of playing medium tempo and slow tempo if you really want to develop a good vibrato. Good luck.